I've got 5 after. Let's get started so we can move right along here. We have any introduction of guests? Any guests? Penny, you're our speaker today, so I guess you're our guest, but anybody else? Okay, hearing none. Then let's have the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, since I've already introduced Penny, we have no other guests. I'd like to go to announcement. Any announcements? Any announcements? Well, I have a couple. First of all, the food drive. If you have not picked up your green bag and would like one, let me know or let Carl know and he can get information to me. I really appreciate all the folks who have already picked up a bag. I think it's going real well, so thank you. And remember, it's August the 8th, and we'll get detail as to how best to pick all those up from you. Good. It's been interesting because I've had to take some bags out to people and I'm finding out where they live. That was kind of an interesting experience.
And I found out where you live.
Yes. Okay. The other thing is the Redmond Learning Center has just been approved through the process it has to go through to be an official can deposit place. And they've got a program that I'll be talking to you a little later that's very similar to the food, and that you'll get a bag, you can fill it up with cans and they'll come around and get it, or you can bring it to their site. As you know, everybody's under a certain amount of financial stress, and the Learning Center is not any different. So as I get detail on that, I'll pass that along to you. But if you have cans, start saving them because I got a place for you to take them. Okay?
You mean aluminum cans? Aluminum
cans, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, yeah. Those that are depositable, you know, just like you would
Got it.
think. Yeah, yeah. Paint cans full of paint, that's probably not a good deal. But, okay,
Rats.
good. Okay, now for the joke of the day. Are you ready for this, Rich? Okay, Chris. Here we go. You got to think about this one a little bit. And Carl, I was thinking of you when I picked this one out.
Okay.
A mother writes a letter to her son who is in prison. Dear son, life is so hard for me since they took you to prison. Nobody digs a vegetable garden. Nobody plants potatoes. The son writes back to her mother, Mom, please stay away from the garden. If you start digging it, the police will come and both of us will be in prison and me for a longer time. Mother writes back to her son, Darling, together with your last letter, police came. They dug up all over the garden, but haven't found anything. They left extremely frustrated. The son writes back, I helped as much as I could, Mom. Please,
yeah, very good.
Did it yourself.
Very good.
Okay, a long one, but you got the idea. Okay, good enough. At this point, then, our program is none other than our own Penny Pritchard. So, Penny, all yours.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I think most of you do know about Friends of the Children. I've spoke about it quite a few times throughout our meetings, in-person meetings over the last year. But anyway, we are a long-term mentorship program for children who have high levels of trauma. And so instead of going back into all the details of the program, I was just going to share a little video and share kind of a brief update on how we've been interacting with children throughout quarantine and COVID, and we actually just turned back to service. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen with you. Let's see if Dave will give me
I just gave you access.
privilege. All right. Let me see here. Perfect. So I just wanted to share this one. And here is, so these, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Let me see this. So yeah, so our friends, we have 6 friends currently, and for those of you that may not be as familiar or remember, each friend is a full-time paid professional mentor who spends 4 hours a week with each child, and they have 8 children on their roster. And so we identify children in kindergarten and pair them with a paid professional mentor for 12 and a half years. And so we just returned to in-person mentorship last week, and actually a couple of our friends are returning in service to in-service mentorship this week as well. And so here are some of the fun photos that they've been sending with the kids getting out, and they're so gracious to get out and play with the kids. And of course, we're not transporting kids right now. So what our in-person service looks like is just essentially the friends are going to their homes and they're doing out activities around their neighborhood, which for me, my background's in public health, I think this is a really actually cool way kids to, you know, their local neighborhood and, you know, local parks, and it shows them opportunities that they can go and play within their own backyard, as opposed to, you know, having to be dependent on thinking that they need to go to the bowling alley or the movie theaters to be stimulated. And so these are just some of the photos that the kids, that the friends have taken of the kids just playing in their backyard or around their neighborhood in their areas. And so we are working, as far as our service delivery goes, we are working with youth or attorneys to really make sure that we are being very careful in our return to service with children. Of course, you know, as I mentioned, we're not transporting the kids. They're all masked most of the time, except for this little girl in this picture, but the friends are masked. It's hard to keep masks on kids, as you probably can imagine or have experienced. But we had some thermometers that were, some digital thermometers that were donated. So basically before every outing, the friends will scan themselves, scan the children, and make sure that, you know, everybody has, that no one's running a fever, and before they interact. And of course, throughout their outing together, that's outside in open space, they are making sure to, you know, use tons of hand sanitizer. We've had tons of donations for hand sanitizer and masks. And so those things, they're being very cautious in how they're handling the kids. And something that, you know, I have a ton more photos I could have shared with you. Something that came to mind is maybe a potential service project that I was thinking of that just popped up as I was going through these photos. As you could see, the little boy on the bicycle, you know, I was thinking about, even up the street in my old neighborhood, we had a community playground, and I was thinking about all the kids that are so desperate to get out of their houses and play outside, especially when the weather's nice. But I was thinking about, like, how often are, you know, is the Park and Recs district able to sanitize that play equipment? And so I'm just wondering if there might be a volunteer opportunity there that we can volunteer to do, you know, to help increase sanitation process. I don't know what that looks like and all, but it's just a general thought I had about making sure that it's safe, and that, you know, and that Parks and Rec staff have, you know, the right tools and staff and people and resources available. Because yeah, I think kids are just going to naturally want to go play at the parks and play on equipment and things like that. So I'll pause right there. Does anybody have any questions?
How many kids are you impacting, do you think, Penny?
So we have 48 children in the program right now, and we're hoping to enroll 16 more in the next couple of years. And so that's, while we have 48 currently, we've estimated and done some data analysis and data collection on their siblings. So we're actually looking at impacting about 150 children between the siblings. And we have a lot of data nationally on the impacts of our program and the ripple down of the ripple effect that it has on siblings and families. Like we had one study done where we've actually have encouraged even the parents to go back to school and get their GED where they may not have graduated high school. And so that's been something that's been a really cool byproduct of our program, and encouraging youth to not only finish school and graduate, but it's also had a ripple effect on their families in that kind of way as well.
Other
So I
questions
have
for Penny?
Yeah. Do any of these kids need something like a bicycle?
You know, we do have quite a bit of needs, and the best way to find out kind of our wish list, it's on our website at friendscentraloregon.org. And so you can look at that wish list and see kind of all the needs. We try to update that as often as possible. And so, yeah, we do love to give them bikes. Like even one of our mentors was running around frantically because he really wanted to get a little boy a skateboard. And of course, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but there seems to be a lot of things either sold out, recreational items, which is interesting. Everybody's spending money. But apparently there was a shortage of skateboards. And so he was going to, Walmart and skate shops and couldn't find a skateboard for this little boy. And I think the closest one was like $200. And of course, we don't do extravagant gifts like that for a friend or for our children. I try to keep it reasonable. And so I donated an old skateboard to this little boy. And so that was something that they really enjoyed. So yeah, we're always looking for different things like that. And especially we've been really fortunate working with the food banks. We've been partnering with the Giving Plate and even Jericho Road have been very gracious for, supplying our families with lots of food. And yeah, the need, as COVID continues, is the families are greatly impacted, and we've been successfully securing resources and getting a lot of grants to help mitigate some of those extra costs to our program. But yeah, we're looking at a budget shortfall ourselves. Potentially, our end of our fiscal year is at the end of end of August. And so we're just looking to bridge those gaps too. So monetary donations are always welcome, and that pays for the salaries of the friends who support those children as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Penny,
Other
are you going to
questions?
follow up on the idea of using some kind of something to cleanse the playgrounds and having people working to do that?
I'm sorry, was that a question?
Yes, it was, Penny. I'm each morning, my wife and I pass through 2 different playgrounds, and the idea you had about getting them disinfected some way sounds good to me. Are you going to follow up on that?
Yeah, I can. I'll see if I can find out who and where. I know that when I was living in Bend, I live in Redmond now. The Bend Parks and Rec District had, some signs posted on the playgrounds that were, if you had any questions and stuff. So does anybody have a contact with the Redmond Parks and Rec District? I'd be happy to follow up with that. I think I might have some connection.
Penny, Katie Hammer, right? Is she the director? She could probably point us in the right direction.
Oh, right. That's a great idea. Do you have her contact information?
I know John does. John, are you there?
I'm here.
He's got 2 boxes.
I'll email it over to you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I think potentially they already have it covered, but I think it would be worth asking. And I think in this time, you can't be too careful and too cautious with stuff like that, especially with the kids. I just think of the kids in those playgrounds being so dirty. Good way to spread germs without a pandemic.
So,
Oh,
sorry, I've gone to your website and looked at the wish list. It says you need 2 larger bikes. I'd be willing to buy a bike and donate it, a child's bike, right? Do you have any more guidance about what it is you would like?
Let me put you in contact with our program director.
Okay.
She will be the one to really know those level of details for the exact who need the bikes. But thank you. That's that's really sweet, Anne. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Sure.
Always impressed with what I put out there and the response I get. Just really warms
Penny,
me.
Can you
We
talk
also
to us
have
about
two-
your monthly giving program and your biggest fundraiser of the year?
Yes, thanks, Josh. Josh is on our development and marketing committee, wearing that hat. Thanks for the question. So we do have a monthly giving program that is called the 100 Friends Club, and I think I've told it before in previous meetings. And so really, you know, it's just that opportunity. It doesn't have to be a large amount of money, but it's just that opportunity. If you have an extra $5 or $10, even $25 a month that you're willing to spare or can afford, we have a program that you can just become a reoccurring monthly donor. And that's really important, you know, in fundraising and development for us, especially as we look at our budgets and we can kind of project, you know, those monthly donations, they add up. And it's recently I was analyzing our budget, and you know, we're talking about adding events and, you know, doing all these crazy things. And we had this little small event that brings in about $12,000. But when I looked at our monthly donor program, you know, those $5, $10 donations a month actually brings in $16,000 a year. And so, and, you know, that's just the small little donations really do add up. So that's something that really does help us sustain our program for the long term, and hopefully isn't too, you know, puts people out too much for those smaller donations. So thanks for that question. Oh, and you can sign up for that on our website. All you have to do is go to the main page and you can see the donate button, and there's an option. It'll walk you through how to, all those options and how to do that. So a big fundraiser actually coming up is called the Friendraiser, and that's October 1st. And this will be our 4th one this year. And typically it's in person, but this year it'll actually be virtual. And what we're going to do is we have an auctioneer that we've worked with in the past year, similar to what the Vintner's Dinner does. And we will, we're working with him and his production team. And so they're pretty engaging. I've seen him do a couple fundraisers so far, and he puts together a program in partnership with our staff. And he's just really fun and engaging to watch. And you're kind of with these other, not kind of, you are kind of engaging with other people on the side, you know, in the chat boxes, and you're cheering everybody on during like the paddle raise and during the live auction. And we'll do a silent auction as well. We'll open that up a week before the event, or for the night of the event. And so you can go on and bid on things on our website. And so we'll have more details coming down that will be posted on our website as well.
Penny, how long have you been with the organization?
I've been with the organization for 2.5 years, and thanks, Earl, for that, because actually I do have some big news. I will be transitioning out of my position at the end of this month. So my background is in public health, which is why I bring up the safety of the playgrounds and trying to mitigate, you know, the spread of disease. And so I'm actually looking for some other opportunities to utilize my skills in public health on a much broader scale. And so I'm not sure exactly where I'll end up, but I've got a few resumes and talking to a few different groups of people, one including our national organization. They're working on spreading or implementing our mission across the country. And so we have a national goal to be in 25 cities by 2025. And so we have set some pretty aggressive fundraising goals. And so I might join the national team, to be determined, deciding whether or not maybe assist them with like some policy work or public funding, grant writing. So yeah, so I'll be transitioning out of my Central Oregon team here shortly, but I'll still be around and supporting efforts. And, you know, it's really a good program, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to work alongside the team. And yeah, just looking for that little bit of growth opportunities here and there. And so.
Well, good. So if any of our members have any ideas, make sure you send them over to Penny. Any other items?
Well, I want to share a little video, because I'm thinking during this time of COVID, I wanted to give you a little bit of more of like fun, hopeful, sweet kind of video. So I want to share this video of it's our core assets, which we have 9 core assets, and the video will explain it, but it's it's a compilation of all the videos over the past year that a volunteer videographer put together for us. And I think it's just a really sweet video that I think it warms my heart. Hopefully it'll warm your heart too. Let me start that and see if I can find it. 1 second here. Let's see. Oh.
No sound.
Really? Maybe, shoot, maybe that's not going to work. I'll email the video. I'll send it to Earl, or Dave, sorry, to email that.
Send it to me and I'll put it on YouTube.
Perfect.
Okay.
YouTube channel. It's on our Friends Central Oregon YouTube. Well, that was well, just know that it's a sweet video and it's coming your way.
Oh, it might have been Penny gave us an idea of the size of bike you might need.
Yeah, that's
There are some
fine.
small, the kids are growing fast and there are some in that video.
Well, Penny, thank you very much for your program. We really appreciate it. It's kids are, of course, the heart of what we do in Kiwanis, so we really appreciate it. And Dan, I screwed up. We're going to have a prayer at the end of the meeting as against the beginning of the meeting. So don't go away.
A benediction.
A benediction as against an invocation. That's right. There we go. Are there any other items that we should be talking about? You know, one of the things we're going to talk about at the board meeting, as we have the last couple of board meetings, and that is venue. And so if you have a feeling about whether or not we should be looking for a venue or what that venue might look like, please let me know, or Carl or any of the board members. We really get mixed signals sometimes, so it would be nice if we could find out exactly how everybody kind of felt, because I don't want to exclude anybody from these meetings. And I thoroughly understand there are some of our members we normally see at every meeting. They are not as tech savvy as I am, which is saying a lot because my level of tech savvy is really, really pretty low. So please give that some thought. And I hope that Michelle will be back from Hawaii by the time the next meeting comes, or if John's hiding away over there somewhere. Anything else? I'm going to give the thought for the day, and then we're going to have a benediction.
I have something real quick, Earl.
Okay, Rachel.
So I was gifted the golden rule right before COVID hit, and I would really like to pass it along to somebody. So my plan is to do that in person on one of these weekly meetings. Of course, I will need help to do that. So all I want to say is it'll be a surprise visit. So please, at one of these upcoming meetings, just make sure you're wearing your gloves and or have gloves and mask handy, because I will be ringing your doorbell during the meeting to pass on.
Okay. That will be a surprise. Do we need to have lunch ready?
No.
Okay, just check it. Okay. Well, the thought for the day is this. If we are facing in the right direction, all we have to do is keep walking. Dan, I turn it over to you.
Father, we thank you for today, and we thank you for our community. We thank you for your hand on our lives and the lives of our families. There's much right now, Lord, that is causing confusion and anxiety, and families wondering about things like school. We just ask that you give us peace and that you continue to bless our club as we reach out in various ways to the community. We thank you now for your love, the opportunity once again to meet together creatively, and we lift up all our members and their families in Jesus' name. Amen.
Folks, I want everybody to have a good week and stay safe out there, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.